Well, gentlemen, the holidays came early because Manscaped, the leading men's hygiene brand, has launched new products, and it's the all-new Ultra Premium Body Wash and 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. It's time to give yourself the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Now, the Ultra Premium Body Wash is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, fresh, and moisturized. But more importantly, this holiday season, don't forget to take care of that Santa beard in your pants. It's scary with other products because listen, guys, I've been nicked down there and it hurts. But Manscaped flagship product, the Lawnmower 4.0, it's an electric trimmer with a proprietary advanced skin-safe technology that reduces the cuts on your nuts. And it's also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. You can't beat that. The Lawnmower 4.0 is available in the Manscaped Perfect Package 4.0, which also includes the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, and an anti-chafing ball deodorant, moisturizer, and toner. You already put deodorant in your armpits, so why not put deodorant in the smelliest part of your body? That's right, your nuts, your balls, guys. They stink. But not anymore. All you've got to do is go to manscaped.com/laststand for 20% off plus free shipping. Again, that's manscaped.com/laststand for 20% off plus free shipping. Make sure you're feeling and smelling prepared for a little action under the mistletoe.
It's The Last Stand. And here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand when we bring you the biggest names in the sport. And our guest today, I'm telling you, one of the biggest. When you talk about 135 in the lightweight division, this man is the unbeaten WBC champion of the world. He's known as the Dream. Devin Haney is back with us on The Last Stand. How you doing, Dev?
I'm doing great. How you
Man,
doing?
good. It's good to see you. And look, you're back in action. December 4th, you're taking on Jojo Diaz, a former champion in his own right. Tell me why you wanted Jojo Diaz.
Jojo Diaz was the best available guy. But I knew that fighting Jojo Diaz, I would get my just due. People would respect, the opponent that he is. He has a great resume, and he on paper he is my toughest test. So I feel like the world will give me my just due after this fight.
And tell me what makes Jojo Diaz, in your opinion, the toughest challenge of your career thus far.
Because he's young. He's in his prime. He's coming off his biggest win against Javier Fortuna. So this fight means so much. And that's why I feel like he is, the toughest test on paper.
Jojo Diaz, he was asked about this fight, and he said this, Dev. He said, quote, I just don't feel like, and he's talking about you, I just don't feel like he has that dog in him. And I'm going to showcase to everybody what I'm talking about come fight night. He hasn't been in deep waters like I have inside the pro ring. And I just feel like once I take him there, it's going to be hard for him to adapt because he's never been there before, end quote. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he can say what he want to say. At the end of the day, he has the right to have his opinion, but I will show him otherwise on December 4th. Everybody says what they're going to do, and how I don't have experience, or they're going to put the pressure on me and all that. Okay, and all that kind of stuff. But I will show him otherwise on December 4th.
You're coming off a really exciting win over Linares. What did that win do for you in and out of the ring?
It showed that I could fight in the deep waters. It showed that I could take a shot. It was my first time ever being hurt, and I got hit directly on the chin. We didn't see guys, Linares knock out guys with one punch. We see him drop the best of them, but I showed that I could take a shot and keep going. And it made me a better fighter in the ring and outside the ring. It showed that I am a legitimate 135-pound champion.
Yeah. Jojo Diaz and Ryan Garcia were originally supposed to scrap before you stepped in because of Garcia getting injured. There was a report that your promoter, Eddie Hearn, said that you guys had told Mayweather Promotions, Tank Davis, Devin Haney's interested. He'd like to step in and fight you once Rolly Romero was taken off that fight card. Now, we had Tank on the last stand. I asked him about that. I was like, hey, why didn't you fight or take that fight with Devin Haney? And he said, quote, what Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney are talking about is all cap. They're all cap. What happened there? Did Eddie Hearn approach you about trying to fight Tank Davis?
Yeah, actually, Eddie Hearn reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in it, and I said yeah. Um, and that was pretty much it. It never was like no like real details or anything. Like it didn't dig any deeper than that. Obviously, I've been calling for these top guys for a while now, and that's pretty much all it was. It wasn't like nothing drawn out more than that.
Yeah. Do
But
you think
we were we were already in negotiations with Jojo Diaz as well.
do you think Eddie even approached Davis? Because Tank was adamant that it was cap. He was like, they never even reached out to me. So I don't even know why they would go public with that.
Yeah, I don't think that he actually like reached out to Mayweather Promotions or nothing like that. I think he put it out there, and they never showed any interest in it or nothing like that. So it just never like came to fruition.
One thing that we also talked with Tank about was it seemed like the criticism with Tank is that they say that maybe Mayweather Promotions has been protecting him and from facing the top guys at you guys' weight division. So I asked Tank about that, and his response was, "Name me any of the guys in my weight division who are fighting top guys. None of them are. So I don't accept that type of criticism." Well, what are your thoughts on that, Devin?
I mean, okay, so we could say none of the guys in the lightweight division are fighting the top guys because we are the top guys to fight. Me, Tank, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia. These are the top guys to fight. So in reality, none of us are fighting each other. So of course, we could all say none of us are fighting the top guys because we are the top guys.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll eventually happen?
We're all fighting the best, the next level, the next step, the next step before the top guys. We're fighting the next available guys.
Your father, talking about the guy you are fighting in Jojo Diaz, your father told the boxing scene, quote, "I don't think this fight is going to go far at all. I think he's going to stop Jojo in a hell of a performance." What does Devin Haney think?
I think that my dad is 100% right. I'm feeling so strong, so healthy. Everything is going, smooth. I thank God for it. I thank God for preparing me, so well up to this point. And you know, I think that this is going to be a hell of a performance from me. I agree with my dad, and if a knockout comes, I will take it.
A couple of weeks ago, your promoter, Eddie Hearn, and Teofimo Lopez ran into each other. And obviously, it got caught on video. And they made a handshake agreement with one another. And that was, the understanding was, he wins his fight, you win this fight with Jojo Diaz, and you guys fight next. Is that what you understand?
Yeah, to my understanding, that's what it is. Even though after that, he said that he might go up to 140 or he might do this, he might do that. But we came to an agreement, and thought I had to sneeze. I was about to sneeze, but we came to an agreement, and I got to take care of business December 4th. He got to take care of business this weekend, and we go from there.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting too. Bless you. In October, boy, you want to talk about something going viral. You two came face to face with one another. Man, you guys had a nice heat. Well, what exactly what were you guys saying to one another? You and Teofimo.
Um, it was a lot of BS in it, but the main thing that I got from it was that we were gonna make the fight happen after both of our fights, and that's pretty much what it was. So um, I'm gonna hold him to that. Hopefully that he holds me to that, and we make that big fight happen after I'm victorious, and we'll see what he does.
Yeah, and listen, I know a lot of people want to see that fight. In fact, in his buildup for this latest fight, he was asked about you, and this is Teofimo, who he told the boxing scene, quote, "Did you see how he got hurt by Linares? I would knock him out in just one punch." End quote. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, styles make fights, and if he felt like it was that easy, and the world is calling him not undisputed, if they're disputing his undisputed title, then why are you fighting Cambosos? You could easily be fighting Devin Haney.
Interesting. Interesting. Bob Arum says he's interested in making the fight with you and Teofimo. He says, but not if Devin Haney's going to ask for $5 million. I would put a fight together based on percentages like the Crawford and Porter fight. But Haney isn't bringing a lot to the table at this point in his career. That's what Bob Arum had to say. What does Devin Haney say?
Yeah, they make up lies and they say stuff. It's an excuse for everything. At the end of the day, the fans want to see the fight. The world wants to see the fight. If Bob Arum doesn't want to put up the money, or because he doesn't even know what I even want, we never even got that far to even negotiate what I wanted. For as a number wise. Eddie Hearn said that he came out openly. He said that he will put the money up, and we go from there. So, he can try to say what he want to say. They can try to say that I'm outbidding myself or asking for too much money. One, they don't know what I want, and two, if it's too much money for them, my promoter Eddie Hearn will put the money up.
Like it. They call you guys the Four Kings because everybody wants to see you guys fight. In your opinion, do you think, Devin, you guys will fight each other?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do. I think in due time these fights will happen. We're all young. We're all still on or going up. We're all still on the rise. So I do feel like in the end, all these fights will happen.
What do you have to say about those critics who have written and who say Devin Haney not exciting? Devin Haney has no power.
They can say what they want to say. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep beating whoever they put in front of me, and the guys who they feel like are exciting or have power, whatever the case may be, I'll show them when I beat them.
One of those guys who said that publicly was Ryan Garcia. He gave right before he had his surgery. He was asked about Devin Haney, and he says he needs to get fans excited and want to see him fight. What are your thoughts on Ryan Garcia?
I have nothing bad to say about Ryan Garcia. I wish him a speedy recovery, and I'm fighting the guy who, he was supposed to be fighting, and it is what it is. I have nothing but respect for him. I know that injuries happen in boxing. I didn't had injuries myself, so I wish him him a speedy recovery, and yeah, get back in the ring soon.
How much longer will we see the dream Devin Haney at 135?
Um, That's a good question. We'll see. How long. Well, it's not easy to make the weight at all. It's a sacrifice, but I mean that's just it comes with the sport. If I can get these big fights at 135, I'll stay. If not, then I'm going to move up to 140 and campaign there. I'm every day I'm getting bigger, stronger. My body's maturing, so you might see me at 140 sooner than
No,
later.
so you're saying like in 2022, we could if you don't get, let's say, a Teofimo or one of those big, we could see Devin Haney at 140.
Very much so.
We always let people who watch and listen to the podcast submit questions. We got a number of them, so we'll just get to a few of them here from Twitter. This first one comes from Lou, Devin, and he says, why doesn't anybody want to fight you or Andrade? Would you change your promoter to be able to land those big fights?
Yeah, I feel like my promoter doesn't really have a say in, who I fight. I wouldn't say he doesn't have a say. I feel like it doesn't stop anything from, you know, me getting those big fights. My promoter is Eddie Hearn, and we're willing to work with anybody to make the fights happen. We're willing to go to any network to make the big fights happen. So I don't feel like my promoter Eddie Hearn is stopping anything from making these fights
Mm.
happen.
And the first part of his question is, why do you think you and Demetrius Andrade are avoided?
I just feel like our skill sets that we both bring to the table um, are give these big punchers problems, and we it's not an easy it's not easy putting a game plan to beat a fighter like me or Demetrius.
The next from Twitter, it says, if you can't get the Teofimo fight next year, kind of what we just asked, are you going up in weight?
Yeah, it's very much so. If I can't get these big fights at 135, then I'll easily go up to 140 and campaign there.
Next from Twitter, it says, which fighter around you, around your weight class, do you see as a tough test if you were going to get in the ring with that person?
Yeah, I see the toughest test, like around the fighters that are around like my weight. I would say probably Tank. I see Tank being the toughest test out of all of
Oh,
them.
interesting. Next one from Twitter says, who is the number one dude you would like to fight after you beat JoJo? And how also would a fight between Errol and Bud do you think plays out?
Um, the first one was who do I want to fight after
Yes.
JoJo?
Number
Yeah,
one dude you want to fight after
I would love.
JoJo.
Yeah, yeah. Number one dude I would say is Teofimo. I want to become the undisputed. I want to get all the belts. And a fight with Earl and Bud. I think that's a great fight. I'm cool with Bud. I'm cool with Earl. I respect both of those guys. They both have skills. Bud has just been more active lately than Earl, obviously because his injury, and he had another injury with the car accident, so he hasn't been as active as Bud. But you cannot count Earl out. Earl is a dog. He has great skills, and I would love to see that fight happen. Just as a fan, I would just love to just see that fight play out.
Last one here. It says, Devin, what are the key, necessary, and mandatory fights do you feel are relevant in order for you to be considered great or as a great fighter? And do you think that those fights would solidify your career?
I think that any of these big fights in lightweight division, as far as Teofimo, Tank, Loma, I think that those are three guys that they will respect and put me in that pound for pound list, and yeah, solidify me.
It wasn't too long ago, even on social media, you had put out there like, "Yo, Loman, let's get it." Is that still a fight that you want, and do you think that that's a fight that can come to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while now. I've been calling for Loma for years now. I want to fight the best fighters. I've been saying this. I'm willing to mix it up with anybody. I don't duck or dodge nobody. I'm willing to get in the ring and test my skills against the best of them.
All right, it's time for the last segment of this show here, Devin Haney. It's called The Last Stand, and I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. You just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready? Here we go. Which fight, Devin Haney, is more realistic? Haney versus Tank, Haney versus Garcia, or Haney versus Teofimo?
I would say Haney versus Garcia, just with us being both on the zone and that fight being easy to
Mm.
make.
Who is the more skilled fighter? More skilled fighter out of Tank, Garcia and Teofimo?
I would say
How
Tank.
about that? Usually you think of Tank, you just think of a power puncher, but that's interesting. Um,
Yeah, I would say Tank. I would say Tank is like more versatile. Um, yeah, I would
and you
say
guys
Tank.
had to, you guys have been in like what sparred and been in camp together. What has that been like?
Um, yeah, we sparred when I was younger, but it's
Yeah,
different now.
yeah.
At the end of the day, and
Uh,
I can't really focus on what happened when we were younger. We both matured now. We both different fighters than we were when we were. I think I was like 16
oh,
when I
you guys,
fought
so you were real young
last.
bucks then. Interesting. All right. Who is the one fighter, Devin, that talks so much stuff to you that you say, please, please get me in the ring with this guy at some point?
It gotta be Teofimo. It gotta be
That's great. That's great. You've been in camp with so many great fighters. I'm talking like the Roy Jones Juniors, the Floyd Mayweathers, all those guys. Give me the one one GOAT who's had the biggest influence on you.
I would have to say Floyd. With me just growing up in the Mayweather boxing gym, just training with Floyd Senior, Jeff Mayweather, Roger Mayweather, and being also trained by Floyd Junior. Just learning from him, I would say Floyd just had the most impact on my style, my career, everything.
And last question. By this time next year, Devin Haney will be, you finish the sentence.
Um, the undisputed lightweight champion.
Wow. I love it. I love it. He's the dream. He's unbeaten. He's the WBC champion. He is Devin Haney. Dream, we always appreciate the time, my man. Best of luck in that fight. And you keep doing what you're doing, and that's racking up those wins.
Sure,
Absolutely.
thank
That's
you.
what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And in the lightweight division, Devin Haney, one of the biggest. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you again next week.